What's up, guys? This video is going to cover the spiral exercise, and we're going to use two skills we learned last week. One is partial circles. So if we were going to draw a circle radius 50, then we'd go all the way around. But if you add another parameter, you can say how many degrees. They call this the extent, meaning how much. So we could just go halfway, for example. And we use that in the bubble wrap to draw a little shine on these bubbles, and we used it in the Kid Shapes toys to draw the yellow semicircle. The other skill we're going to use in this is setting a variable and then incrementing it as we go. Remember, there was a dartboard where it was like radius equals 25, and then for whatever the radius would go up every time. And so we're going to combine those two to say, hey, what if we do a partial circle and then bump up the radius before it comes back around? Because if it comes back around, it's not a spiral, it's just a regular circle. But if we increase the radius, then we'll come back around to a different point, a larger radius if we're going out, or you could also do a spiral the other way and start on the outside and make a smaller radius. So let's do that, and it's actually easier than the dartboard exercise to do just a really basic version. Let's say, I don't know, 20. Then we're going to go circle, radius, do a half circle. So we're going to bump it up and then go like this, and then bump it up and go like this, and get wider each time. Let's see what happens if I hit run. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. I don't know why I put 20. I guess we're done after like 8 and then it goes off screen, right? But if we had divided it into smaller slices, then we would need more. For example, we could change every quarter instead of every half, and then we probably want to change by a different amount. Let's just say 10, I don't know. And then if you get a lot of these, you'll start to see like a little almost optical illusion where you can see lines, and in this case they're too far apart, but let's really shrink them down. Let's say 1, and then we're just going up by 1 every time. By the way, this is it. You're done if you just do a couple lines and make a spiral, but I'm going to keep going just for fun and show some ideas that I've talked about recently. So if we do this, well, first of all, it's too slow. We got to bump it up, right? Now when I'm going to add stuff, I'm going to make this into a function, because if I add lots of stuff and all the variables are getting mixed up, I might make more mistakes, but if I keep things separate, it could be nicer. So let's just say speed 0, and then we run spiral. So now you see it really blazes across, and this might be a bad thing if we don't see how we get to the point, but it's a spiral. It's the same thing over and over again, so the max speed is okay. And if you'll notice, there are these 4 rays coming out from the middle. It looks a lot like an LP record if you've ever seen a vinyl on a record player. I don't know how they're made. I assume it's on some kind of machine like a lathe that turns, and I would guess they move it out a little bit every so often. It could be every 90 degrees. It kind of looks like this when you look at a record. There's sort of quarters of these shimmering lines, but maybe it's broken up more and it increases the radius a tiny amount every few degrees. I don't know for sure. Now you can do other stuff. I was showing one class that it's kind of fun to change the color as you go, right? You could change the color once at the beginning and just say, okay, let's make it green, right? Because we've done that all throughout the last few weeks. But there's another way to handle colors, which is instead of giving it a named color like blue or red, you can give it RGB values, R for red, G for green, and B for blue, and if you give it how much of each, they'll make a new color. These are 1 byte each, so they go up to 255. And sometimes these are written in hexadecimal. You might see colors in a 6-digit hex code sometimes, but these are going to be just regular base 10 integers. So for example, if I wanted just a classic green, I could say 0R 255G and 0B. Then it's a really bright green. It's not the default named green because they softened it a little. They might have put, you know, a little bit of each of the others. And what I mentioned to this class is, what if we tie it to the radius? Like as we go out, it gets greener or it gets darker in some way. So I could say, for example, inside of here we say, well, let's just say I, you know. And we can see that the I starts out really tiny because it's 0 at the beginning of a loop, but it goes up as we go, and it gets greener as we go. I just thought that was kind of nice. What if we say this one is going down? Okay, the blue starts out max blue, and then it goes down as we go. It'll be less blue as it goes outward. And so we start out super blue, and we end up super green. I went through a whole thing in class on Friday, and I showed a function to do random colors and all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to make a 30-minute video here, so I'll end it now. But I just want to say that the assignment is to make a spiral. You can do that 3 or 4 lines, but the real assignment is to have fun and mess around with, what if we change this? What if we change this? What if you make something crazy or an error or an ugly mess? That's fine. You can just hit Control Z and go back to your previous version. Thanks.